Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mukesh Kumar, lecturer, Computer Science, Government Polytechnic Gaya. So the topic for today's session is control structure in Python programming. So when you see this topic control structure, what comes to your mind? Can anyone help me with your answer in just 10 seconds? Like, what do you mean by control structure? Okay, so I will be explaining it. So when we say control structure, basically it means we see today in the technological world, we write so many programs, so many lengthy programs. Like a program may have like thousands or lakhs of code written, but then the program execution does not happen line by line. Okay, it may happen that the line number 1 to 5 is executed in a sequence, then the program jumps to line number 25, and then it comes back to line number 6. So this happens. So the flow of program is being decided by this control structure. So we will see in more detail. So after this session, we will have these learning outcomes like explain the iteration type. Next is describe the loop. We have two loops in Python. One is for loop and one is while loop. And next, application of the loop. So this is the outline of today's session. So coming to like as I defined control structure. So control structure is basically what? It will be defining the control of the program. How the program execution will happen. So now we will have three types of control structure. You take any language. Just I'm talking about Python, but be it C, C++, Java or any XYZ programming language, we will have sequential type of control, we will have conditional and we have iteration. So as you see, in sequential, the statement 1 will be executed, then statement 2, then statement 3, and it will go in sequence. That like there is no skip. All the statements will be executed one after another. Whereas in condition, you see there is some condition. So based on this condition, either it will be a true or false. Like just I have taken some number and I want to check whether it is an odd or even number. So when I am checking it as an even number, so either it will be true or false. So one of the statement will be skipped. So in that way, when we are saying conditional, so out of condition, one will be true, one will be false. So true case will be taken and the program will move on. Next we are saying iteration. So by iteration we means that there are situations where we need to do same thing again and again. Like when we are writing a table, when we are trying to calculate factorial of a number. So what we do in a factorial of a number? Like we have to calculate the factorial of 5. So you multiply, the multiplication activity is done again and again. 5 into 4, again into 3, into so on. So the multiplication activity which is being done again and again. So that we can put here. Like condition, we will have some condition like number less than equal to 1 or greater than equal to 1. It is like, and we will have some statement and it will be executed again and again until the condition becomes false. So here we have two type of loop. One is for loop and one is while loop. So to make it very clear, whatever you can achieve with for loop, you can achieve with while loop. So both are equally strong, both are equally powerful, and both suffice the condition. So the syntax, when we call of a syntax, we have for, which is a keyword, like it is a special meaning for the programming language. Iteration variable, we will have some variable, and then the sequence. Like I want to iterate for the factorial, what I was talking, 5. So the sequence will be 1 to 5, or in the reverse order, 5 to 1, right? So in that way, it will happen. And here we will have the multiplication statement, which will be repeated again and again. So this, when I am talking of, we will have one special function range, which is used in Python, because Python is like very rich in library functions and all that. So for many things, you don't have to write huge number of codes. A single function will do your purpose. So like range 6, when I say range 6, so it will move from 0 to 5. Okay, the counting will start from 0, so the last element will be 5, not 6. So coming to here, just to show you the example, like I have taken a branch where CSE, ME and all these are stored. So this is just like an array where the indexing will start from 0 and it will go to 4. There are 5 elements, but since the count starts from 0, the last element will be at 4th position. Means position wise it will be 4th, but the index will be 4. So coming to while, again as I said, only the syntax changes, like while we are putting some condition, if the condition is true, we go to the statement and the statement gets executed, and again we go back and keep checking the condition. So until this condition is true, this statement 1 will be executed again and again. So I will show you through some example also. Like see, I have put it in a flow chart. We start, this is the start of the program, we are going here, we are checking some condition. So if the condition is true, you go back, do some execution over here. A statement is basically some set of programs, some set of code that will be executed again and again. It goes back, check again the condition. If it is true, again those statements will be executed, and at last if it is a false, it will get out. So one thing you have to remember, for using any loop, there should be an exit criteria. If there is no exit criteria, like here if I don't put false, what to do if it is a false? So something can happen that it will always be an infinite loop. So the program will never terminate and you might not get the desired output. So here I have taken an example to demonstrate like a table. I am creating a table of 12, which like we have done in our primary schools. So here see how I have taken a number which is initialized to 12. Next I have taken one iteration variable which will be iterating again and again to do the purpose, and I am checking a condition while I less than equal to 10. So I am starting I from 1, I am checking it if 1 is less than equal to 10, which is true, right? So if it is true means this statement will be executed, which says print number. Yeah. So which says number. So currently number is 12, right? So 12 is getting printed here. When something you put in a single quotation or double quotation, the compiler is not going to think and it will type that as it is. So X is printed as it is. Again I, the value of I currently is 1. So 1 is getting printed. And equal to, again since it is in a quotation, the same thing gets printed without any evaluation. And the number into I, so this is being multiplied, number into I, which is 12. So 12 into 1. Second time, like see here what we are doing, I equal to I plus 1. So we are changing I from 1 to 2, right? It was 1, I added 1 to it. So now it is 2. Again it checks, 2 is less than equal to 10, which is again true. So it will happen 12 into 2 equal to 24, and this will continue till 10. Okay. Now I is 10. 10 I will be 10 plus 1, which is 11, right? It checks the condition, 11 less than equal to 10, it's false, right? So it will not execute this, and hence only till here we print that. This is what I have shown in iteration, not to repeat again, because every time one number will be printed in 4th iteration, again 5th iteration, and so on. Same thing, again, as I said that while loop and for loop, both are equally equivalent. So the table can also be printed using for loop. The syntax will like I 1 to 11, the counting will start from 1, it will go to 10, and same thing will happen. So same program output we can achieve through for loop. Now talking about application, where we are applying this. So we will be applying when we have to calculate factorial of a number, when you have to calculate sum of n natural number. So like you have given that count the sum of, calculate the sum of 1 to 1000. So it is like repetition, right? So there we can use all these factorial loops. Now can you see this? How many times this loop will be executed? Anyone? Infinite, right? Because I less than 10 and I equal to 1. So we are not updating I. So it will always be 1 less than 10. So we will be executing it infinite number of times. Here you see how many times this print will be printed?
9 times.
So you can make it 9, right? True. Again here the sum you can see, it is just counting sum and the sum basically will be 15. You can compute it. So assignment for you again, write a Python program to compute factorial of a given number. Next, explain the different types of iterative loop that is supported by Python. Summary. So what we summarized is like we have two type of loops in Python. One is for loop, another is while loop. We saw the application of for loop as well as while loop, and we also discussed another application which you can apply at your own end. And loops are useful for repetitive tasks. When you have to do same thing again and again, we will be using loop. That's thanks.